This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here, and today it's all about the castles. Because you're not going to just be building one of these monstrosities, you're going to be building two of them, full of all sorts of different rooms for food rooms and sleeping rooms and towers, you name it. Today we're taking a look at Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. This is from Stonemaier Games, and with collaboration of Bezier Games. Now this is for 3 to 7 players with a 2-player variant. It's a drafting game where you're building 2 castles, one with the player to your right, one with the player to your left, collaboratively. Let me show you how it works. I'll see you on the other side. At the beginning of the game, players will be taking these different castle tokens and placing them out on the board where they'll be built. Now these castles are going to be built in between 2 players. So in a 4-player game like this, a player would be sitting here, 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 and here, and between each of the players is going to be the castles, because this player is going to build this castle along with this player. This player is also going to build this castle along with this player. So the between 2 castles means you're sitting between 2 castles that you're working on with your 2 players, one to the left and one to the right. Now the game has these amazing game trays. They both have lids that fit on, but they hold all the tiles, makes it really easy to pick up and set up and put the game back together. And they have a whole section here of the normal tiles and a whole section for the special tiles. Each castle is going to randomly be assigned one of the throne rooms. This will give you sort of a starting spot and ways to sort of grow the castle. Now they have different requirements. Like this one says you'll get 2 points for every living room. If you see purple here, living room, like this. And for every corridor, that's this type of room here, that is just to the left and or right of this throne. That's what this means. These little black squares are to the left and right of this long tile here, which is the throne room. And so that's how this works. Now they could both be purples or both be corridors or 1 and 1, but you'll get 2 points for each of them that you put there. Now the other castle we're working on with the other player will get 2 points for each of the orange utility rooms and food rooms, again, to the left and right of the different throne rooms. Now it's not always left and right. Some of them are different. Some of them are like this one where there's like, hey, it's 2 of them on top, so you'd put them here. So there's different variations of the different tiles as well. Now the game is played over 2 rounds. Each round, each player is going to grab one of these stacks of tiles. And you'll see in this game tray here, it says ×9, because each of these is going to have 9 tiles, which again makes it easy to set up and put away. You just, boom, you put 9 tiles in there, you take them up, you're ready to go. Now after you have those 9 tiles, you're going to secretly select them. They wouldn't be up like this. Now I'm building this castle with the player to my right, this one to the player to my left. Normally these would be further apart, but for camera, getting it all in frame, I wanted to put them next to each other. So I'd be secretly picking which tiles I want. I'd be putting them face down in front of me. Now this one, if you remember, we need a purple living room and or a corridor if we can. There's no living rooms here, but there are a couple of corridors, but I'm probably going to select this one, and I wouldn't do anything with it now. I would basically put it face down, but what I want to do with it once it's time to reveal, is put it here, because this corridor next door is going to get us 2 points. And this one says, for each torch that surrounds this tile, we'll get a point. Well, look at this. The throne room has a torch, and we can start building torches around here. And even from your first tile selection, you're building a strategy for the rest of the game that will change every game. So I want to choose this. I'm going to just put it face down in front of me for now, and we'll choose the one that I think that I want to go here. Now, things can change even after we select. I might end up putting it somewhere else, but for now, we're trying to see what we want to do. So this one, we need a utility room or a food room. And we look at these and we look what's around. Well, this one will get points for connected living rooms, but there's no living rooms here. This one will get a point for connected sleeping rooms. There's a couple of them. So let's say I want to take this one. Now, I'm going to end up passing the rest of these to my player to my left during this first round. And it's going to be the player that's working on this castle. And I've already know that I'm going to be giving them 1 point for every connected sleeping room. And there's 2 sleeping rooms, so I already know when I'm passing them, and you can talk about things in between rounds that we'll go over in just a moment. So once you're ready, you'll place the ones face down that you've chosen. All the rest of them go face down in a pile to the clockwise castle. Then once everyone's ready, you'd simply reveal your tiles, and then you would talk with the players to your left and the right as to where you'd think this tile should go. So with the player to my right, I say, look, hey, I found a corridor. I'd like to put it here because it's going to get us 2 points, and it's going to give us another point because of this. And they say, great, I got us a purple room, a living room, and we can put it here, and it's going to give us 2 points. And now we actually want to put corridors over here. So I mean, you could actually even do this because it's going to get 1 point there, or this one's actually better, 2 points there. So you start to talk with each other, and you may have said, you know what, I wanted this for here, but based upon what you selected, well, you put this here, and I'll put this in the other castle. And there's some negotiation that goes on, because you're trying to have it so that both of your castles have the best score, meaning that whichever castle you have the lower score of is your score, so you want both of them to prosper equally. So we go to my player to my left and say, hey, look at this, I got a utility room. Is going to get us 2 points, and we're going to get a point for every connected sleeping room. Oh, and by the way, I just passed you a bunch of sleeping rooms, so next turn, try to use one of those here. So you can always talk in between rounds what you'd like them to do and what things you're setting them up for, but they don't have to keep what you say. They can do whatever they want, but you can try to influence what they might do, because after tiles are laid and before you pick up the tiles, you can talk about what you're going to be looking for with both of your neighbors. And the other player to my left said, hey, look, I got this. It's going to be a food room. It's going to get us 2 points. And now we're going to get 2 points for every downstairs room that's below it. And now is a good time to talk about how are we looking at this castle. This is a side view. This is sort of the base floor with the throne room. And anything below this is going to be a basement room. Anything above it, as you start putting tiles, you can't put tiles out here or like this. This is considered like floor 1. This is considered sort of the basement, the second floor here. And so you're going to be building up like this, just like that. Now, over the course of the game, you might get tiles that have a blue outline. That means it's an outdoor room. It's on top there, and there's a fountain. You can never build on top of any outdoor rooms, and they work a little bit differently. And of course, downstairs rooms like this, it shows they're downstairs. They have to be below the ground there, and so this one actually gets 2 more points if we're able to play this one, because it's downstairs rooms there. So all sorts of different ways to think about and score and build your castle. And since it's completely up to you how it builds, every castle is going to look different at the end of the game. You're not just building a 4x4 grid or anything like that. Every castle looks different. Now let's look at the different types of room. If you look at the player aid, the food, living room, utility, outdoor, and sleeping have this arrow that has a line going up. This means that all these rooms have to be on this base floor or going above it. Now the corridors can be either way, above, below, or on the base floor, and the downstairs rooms have to be below this going down. Now each of these score a little bit differently. The food room, you get 2 points for a certain type of tile above or below, for example. Like this one, 2 points for every downstairs room below it. In fact, 2 points for every downstairs room below it and 1 below that. So they all sort of work a little bit differently. The living rooms, you'll get 1 point for something that surrounds it. This one says 1 point for every corridor that's surrounding it. The utility rooms, you get 1 point for a connected type of room. This one says a connected sleeping room. Connected is like, okay, they're sleeping, and if you keep being able to orthogonally connect rooms, you'll get a bunch of points for each of those that you connect. The outdoor rooms, you'll get 1 point per certain things. And this is those different icons that you might see in the corners of the different, the different ones that are in your entire castle. So 1 point per those. It's like you'd look everywhere, there's one, and you'd start adding those up at the end of the game, so another thing to draft for. The sleeping rooms, they're 4 points if you have one of every tile type in your castle, otherwise they're worth 1 point each. The corridors, they score different things depending on what's surrounding. This one has a mirror, so you'd look around for mirrors that are surrounding this one, you'd get a point for any of those. And the downstairs rooms are getting things for things that are above or below it, like in this case, for these little shields in the corners of some of these, if it's directly, for those, any of those that are above it or below it at all. Now, in addition to all these different ways of scoring, there's bonuses as well. Anytime you place the third tile of a type, you'll get a specific bonus depending on that. For the food one like this, you get to draw 5 tiles from the supply, pick one and place it and discard the other ones. It's like getting a free turn. Now for the living rooms, you get to place one of these in your throne room. So you'd only select one of these and you place it sort of there or somewhere on your throne where it matches the art. This one will give you a point for every one of the swords in there, or the card, or the mirror, or the torch. And those are in the right-hand corners of all of the, the different rooms. So you'd find the one that you want to strategize out for the rest of the game. If you get 3 of the utilities, you get to draw 3 of these cards and keep one of those. And they do all sorts of different things, like 4 points for each of these things in your throne room we just talked about. Or for everything that's surrounding your throne room that are not equal, you get 2 points. Or 1 point for every room below your ground level. Again, another place to look for strategies. 3 outdoor rooms get you a fountain. Again, it's an outdoor room. It can't be built on top of, but it just gets you 5 points. The sleeping rooms get you a tower. This gives you 1 point for everything below it, all the way directly below it. And the corridors get you a grand foyer. It can be placed above or below ground. You get 1 point for everything that's just around it. And if you get a bonus of downstairs, you get to choose any other of these bonuses. Also, if you build 5 instead of 3 of the same type to get one of these bonuses for 3, if you build your 5th one of any regular room type, you get to place any one of these special buildings. So this drafting will continue, selecting 2 tiles, passing them on and on until the tiles are done. That'll end the first round. At that point, you'll take another stack of 9 tiles, you'll be drafting, but this time passing to the right. You'll continue this until that second stack of 9 is completely gone, and that will end the game. Then you go to final scoring. And then each player writes the castle's name, or in this case I just wrote the players' names, and you go through every single tile in your castle. So if you look at every food room, and you look at every tile, and you write down the points for each of those individual tiles, and you do that all the way through, and you do that for all of the rooms there, and then you just add them all up, and then that is your score for that specific castle. But as you can see, you always have 2 castles, and so my other castle only got 61 and 65, which means my points for the game is 61. And so always whoever has, it's your lowest of your 2 castles. Everyone will do that. Whoever has the highest points at that point is the winner. And if it's tied, then the winners compare the scores of their higher scoring castle, and the higher scoring wins. And in the rare case it's still tied, they compare the total number of specialty rooms, and whoever has the most wins. Wow, I am so impressed with this game. Let me start off with what I liked about it. The fun theme. I've always loved the sort of Castles of Mad King Ludwig theme between the original Castles of Mad King Ludwig and then the palaces. I love the theme, just what you can do with the different types of rooms, and it just thematically makes sense that you're making this crazy castle and you want certain rooms to be next to other rooms, and I love that old sort of historical theme. The game has great production. Stonemaier Games, just everything they touch tends to be awesome production-wise. This, just all the tiles, the inserts, they went the extra way here to put those awesome game trays in there. I'm sure it probably increased the price quite a bit of the game, but man, is it so nice to be able to just put those away and take them out, put them out by the board. Like it's just awesome. The art also, like all the rooms just have some interesting art on them. You can look through them and see all sorts of different things. So thumbs up on the production of this. I love that it's a mashup of sort of the mechanisms and themes. So you've got Between Two Cities, and then you've got Castles of Mad King Ludwig, and you just put them together, and it's just like they just become this perfect mashup. It's such a, I couldn't think of a whole lot of other cross collaborations, this much in this style of game where you've got, one publisher that has the rights to a certain game and another publisher has a certain rights to, a theme, and you kind of make them together and they both still work. It just works so well together like peanut butter and jelly, and this definitely does that. It basically took Between Two Cities, which was sort of a gateway style drafting game where you're making this 4x4 grid of the cities. It took that game and really just exploded it. Made it into a pure gamer's game that just, oh geez, it's so fun and so fulfilling as you're setting up these different combos and the different scoring. And I just love how you've got those different room goals. All of them have different goals, and then each of them you're trying to get and draft and then work off that and then work off that, and your strategy is constantly changing, but you get, even from turn 1, you're already starting on strategies because of your throne room, and then as you draft, and then it's such an amazing puzzle that ebbs and flows, and you're just constantly changing what you're doing, trying to work on other things. You're going for those bonuses, for 3 and you get the cool bonus, or 5 and you get the special tile. It's just so cool because it's like, hey, I might want to get this. Like the sleeping rooms can be huge. If you get a bunch of sleeping rooms and one of every tile, that you could score huge points. You probably saw that on one of my score sheets, but when you do that, you're not getting sort of bonuses on other things, so it's just the interesting balance of, hey, we got 2, we might as well try to get 1 more and get a bonus. I just love that it's so many great decisions to make in this game. Specialty tiles, it's cool. The tower, you can put it way up top and have things go all the way down, and then you can make a basement down, down, down. A point for each of those. Having something that surrounds everything, or you can just be like, it's late in the game. I'll put this over here. I'll put the fountain over there. 5 points. Special tiles are cool. The replayability of this game is amazing because even with a lot of play, even with the full complement, you're not going to see everything. You got the different tiles, and you're shuffling them. You're putting them in there. And your castle's always going to look different. Every time your puzzle is just going to be different. And I just think that's really cool. The collaborating with others, I loved it in Between Two Cities, and I love it here. It's just, hey, I got these 2 tiles. What do you want to do? Okay, let's put this over here. Let's put this over here. You're working together. What do we want to do next round? Well, I just passed you one of these, and it would be good that if you took that, I'll look for something like this to pass you next time over here. And then it's like, so you're working on this like passing way to your left in the first round, and then it goes the other way in the other round. You're like, it's just such it's almost like that semi-cooperative game where you're working with both players. It's just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the Between Two Cities, and this one just, wow, blew my mind. I love this game. Okay, it's not perfect. I had some problems with the game. The first thing and the biggest issues are the tile size and the icons. you're looking at a city over here and over here. They're not directly in front of you. The tiles are kind of small and the icons are very small. There's no sort of background border to shade it, make it look a little easier. And I was wondering after the first time I played this, I put it next to the Between Two Cities tiles, and the Between Two Cities tiles are bigger. Not a lot, but just enough to make it. Now I understand why they did this, and mostly it's for table space, because in Between Two Cities, you're working on a fixed grid, 4x4 or whatever it is. Here, everyone's castle, you can just go all the way to the right, all the way down, all the way up. Everyone's castle is different, so it could be a table space problem with a full complement of players, which I understand, but I really wish they would have made the tiles just a little bit bigger, same size as Between Two Cities, and then make the icons easier to read. It does affect the gameplay, but once you know all the tiles and what they do, it's not that big a deal. It's really the first 1, 2, maybe 3 times you've played it. After that, it doesn't matter that much. The second thing is, in Between Two Cities, you'd flip over this board where the tiles were held, and it would be the scoreboard. And as you're going through scores, you'd put it there, and you could very easily, visually see where you are in relation to others. You could look at your 2 cities, you could look at your lowest score, you could see where it is, you could see where you are in relation to other players. It was really easy to see who won. And with this one, I understand you need the score sheet. This game has some complex scoring because you're scoring every tile in there, and you could easily forget something and go, oh, we got to start over again. The score sheets are necessary. But I would have loved to have seen just a little board. The Between Two Cities had 2 of each sort of city pawn, where here you just have 1 of the castle pawns. So you have 1 in front of the city and then 1 on the scoreboard. I wish it was the same thing there. So I really wish that would have happened there because I really missed the scoreboard. It would have made it a lot easier to see who was winning. And finally, the scoring does take a while. It's you're going through and doing it, and it does take a little while to score because you're scoring everything, but it is fun too. So those are the negatives. Could have been better, but it's fantastic. This is absolutely getting a Saxophone Serenade. I'd be very surprised if this doesn't make my top 10 list of the year at the end. This has been the Game Boy Geek, helping you find and enjoy the next board game you'll love.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.